request my colleague Ms. Sukriti Paliwal, working as a scientific officer at the ST Center for Policy Research, to introduce our speaker for today. Over to you, Sukriti.
Thank you, Dr. Radhika. Our first speaker is Ms. Pragati Agrawal. She's a Senior Project Officer at Innovation Technology Transfer Office with key focus on intellectual property management. She started as an intern at Innovation Protection Unit of CSIR, and from then, she's actively working in innovation and IP. As a part of IP team, she performs patentability assessment, patent evaluation, and technology analysis. Ms. Pragati helps protect and manage innovations in various domains of sciences. Academically, she's a biochemist and DST Inspire Fellowship awardee. Besides IP, she has a great interest in writing. Here to discuss patent search using free tools, please welcome Ms. Pragati Agrawal. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Sukriti, for a humble introduction. I would be discussing about patent searches using free tools. And as of now, we all have acquired information regarding what is IP. Anything that is created out of human intellect is termed as intellectual property. We have come across the different forms of IP as well through my fellow speakers who delivered talks in the previous lectures as well. So I hope the slides are moving.
Yeah,
Yes,
Pragati.
ma'am.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so to begin with, I won't go into the details, so I'll be just briefing about just to connect the dots. So to begin with, what is IP? As I've already mentioned, that anything that is created out of human intellect, it is termed as intellectual property, and there are few types of it which has been jotted down by me. So first one is patent. So any product or a process qualifies for filing as a patent application if it is an invention. Second is a trademark. So any recognizable mark that distinguishes the business. Second is copyright. So copyright actually prohibits a right to copy. If I have to define it in a single liner, I'll define like this. Next is the industrial design. So any aesthetic look can be captured under industrial design. Another one is the trade secret. So trade secret are actually not protected because they are the secrets. So for example, the Coca-Cola company has a trade secret on the formulation of the beverage itself. So as long as it is a secret, it is protected, but once it is out, there is almost no legal protection that can be sought over it. Another one is the geographical indications. So geographical indication tags are allotted according to the origin of the product. For example, I've mentioned here the Nagpur oranges, and they are allotted because of the specific features or the qualities or the taste they have in respect to their origin. So moving ahead, I would like to brief about what are patents. So patents are the exclusive rights that are being given to an innovator by the government for a period of 20 years. So yes, they are territorial in nature, and an innovator who is having patent rights, he can prohibit he can prohibit others to make, use, sell his technology or his invention. So the word prohibit itself is actually a negative term to be used, because patent rights in itself, they are not actually helping any innovator to do something, but they are actually prohibiting the others to make use or sell of his technology. So that is why patent rights are also termed as negative rights. So moving ahead with today's topic, it is patent search using free tools. So why I have written that it is a wise first move. So I'll be discussing it in my upcoming slides. So just a basic definition of patent searches. So digging of existing patent documents, and by patent documents, I mean granted patents and patent applications, which are publicly available, is termed as patent search. Why it is conducted? It is conducted to know how our invention is different from what already exists in the prior art or what already exists in the public domain. So why it is a wise move? Like, what are the key benefits of moving ahead with patent search? So I would say yes, it is always better and it is always recommended to invest in a good patent search rather than moving ahead for patent filing itself. Why? Because it gives an idea to an innovator that where his innovation stands. For example, if an innovator performs a patent search, I would say, so he would have a fair idea about what already exists in the public domain. Like, what are all the technologies, what are all the relatable technologies that are already existing in the market? What are the commercial products that are available in the market as per his interest or as per the interested technology? And along with gaining of this competitive advantage, he will also have the benefit of improving his patent application while drafting. Why? Because he would be able to draw the lines, when to stop, when to hit the brakes. Because in case his his invention comes out to be non-patentable, for like, if we assume if it comes out to be non-patentable, so he would know that he has to hit the brake, he has to go to the canvas again and redraw. So that is even even suggestive. Why? Because the process of filing a patent itself is actually a very costly process. So instead of investing directly into the filing and the litigation and then the maintenance, so one should go for a patent search itself. So why usually the innovators skip the search? Yeah, maybe because of the money factor that it involves. Yes, so definitely if you skip the search, you can save on the money part, but then you may lose out the exact value of your innovation. For example, if you wish to protect your innovation, then obviously you'll want to generate revenue out of it. So by performing a patent search, you will know if your technology comes out commercially, or if you put your technology in the market, you know your technology holds what value in comparison to already existing technologies or already related technologies, I would say. So in case the inventor already knows that he okay, so if in case if the inventor doesn't wish to proceed for IP protection, so he may skip the search in that case also. Or if he finds out that the invention itself is non-patentable, so it is okay to skip search. But yes, just to save on the money, one should not skip the search. And ITTO is helping helping innovators in doing these kind of searches at very nominal prices. So now the question arises how to perform patent searching. So there are two main options. Broadly, there are two main options. The first one is free or open databases. Another is paid databases. So before I proceed to the free or open databases, which is actually the topic for today, I would like to brief about what are the paid databases. So these are the databases which we which we gain access by paying some amount, maybe sometimes heavy subscriptions, and yeah, so they we won't be able to access them without having subscriptions. But yes, they are helpful because they provide refined results. They narrow down the searches. They help hit the closest prior ads. Now I would be moving with the free and open databases. I have jotted down few examples of free databases. First one is NPAS. So NPAS is an acronym to Indian Patent Advanced Searching System. So as name suggests, Indian. So this particular free database is provided by Indian Patent Office. But the searches are limited to Indian applications only, whether granted patents or whether patent applications. The another one is SpaceNet. So this has been this SpaceNet is born out of collaboration of European Patent Office and European Patent Organization. And unlike NPAS, it offers worldwide searching. By worldwide searching, I mean you can search for it holds applications, or it holds patent documents from every country, for say US, including EP, including Europe countries, and other countries, for example, US, China, Korea, South Korea, etc. The next is USPTO. So this is provided by US Patent and Trademark Office. So just like NPAS, the searches are limited to US patent applications or the granted patents, so you don't have access to worldwide information. Another is the patent scope. So patent scope, yes, it provides the worldwide information, and this interface has been provided by the WIPO, that is World Intellectual Property Organization. And the last one is the Google Patents. So Google Patents, they are also helpful while we conduct novelty searches because they also provide worldwide information. So why worldwide information is important while conducting searches? Because novelty is always assessed worldwide, globally. Though there is no such concept of global patents, and though the patent rights are territorial in nature, however, novelty is always assessed globally. So while conducting any novelty search, we always have to research we always have to target the documents that are available worldwide, not just the country we wish to file in. So I'll be discussing about each of those platforms in detail. So first one is NPAS. As I've already mentioned, the acronym stands for Indian Patent Advanced Search System, and I've also mentioned the link by which we can access this interface. So NPAS offers us patent search. As we all can see in the screenshot, there are different search fields. There is an option of even selecting the date. For example, you wish to see the patent documents from 2018 to 2019. So you can even segregate your search based on the dates. So you can select in the search field, for example, you wish to have a search in the title. For example, you are searching something that needs to be reflected in the title of a patent document. So what you do, you enter your keyword, the particular word in the enter bar, and and while selecting the search field, if you hit the title and then you go with the searching option, so all the documents that have that particular keyword which you have entered will be reflected where the title of those documents contain the entered keyword. And InPass also offers to segregate our results based on either a published patent document or a granted patent document. As you can see in the screenshot itself, the published one is checked. So in this case, if I hit the search button, it would only show me the published literature. And if I check the granted one, it will show me all the granted patent documents. So these are the searchable categories. So any searcher can base his searching on these fields which are provided by InPass. For example, if you have the application date of a particular patent document, so you can enter that date and you can directly have access to that document. So InPass also helps you to download those files. In case you have an applicant name, so you can enter that applicant name in the particular search field and you will be able to have access to all those patent documents in which the entered applicant is mentioned as an applicant. Another is the patent number. So in case you have the patent number, you can directly write the patent number and just hit the search button and there you go. And similar for title and abstract. So in case you have any keyword, what you can do is you can put it in the enter bar. You can select the title from the searchable category, and when you hit the button, so your entered keyword will be reflected in the title of the displayed results. So the next one is SpaceNet. So as I've already mentioned that SpaceNet helps a researcher to have worldwide information. So as we can see, there is in the screenshot, there is a bar which says enter your search terms. So this is actually a simple search, I would say. When you enter your keyword here and you hit the search button, this magnifying glass, when you hit this search button, all the documents that are related to that keyword will be displayed. And in case you wish to go for an advanced search, which is also an option through SpaceNet, so there in the second line in the blue highlighted portion, it is written advanced search, and there is a clickable portion. So if you click on it, it will become active. And in case you do want to do advanced search, so you can search via categories in advanced search. In simple search, you can only do the keyword searching, while in the advanced search, you can go by application date, you can go by applicant name, by inventor's name, title, abstract, etc. So why to choose a SpaceNet? So I would say a SpaceNet can be a choice because it helps you to even translate the particular language, because as it provides access to worldwide patent documents, so there are possibilities that the patent document that you are searching, it might be in some other language than English. It could be in French, it could be in German, it could be in Korean. So SpaceNet helps you to translate that particular language into the preferred choice of language. So that is quite impressive, which SpaceNet gives access to. Also, SpaceNet gives an option to check the citations that has been cited during the course of examination by the examiner, and SpaceNet holds more than 95 million patent documents. And also there in the bibliographic details, you can even have access to the priority dates, the different countries in which the application has been filed in, and you get to see even the publication date, inventor's name, applicant's details, along with the abstract. So these are the searchable fields that SpaceNet provides you. For say, in case you have inventor details, so you can enter inventor details, and when you hit search, so all of those patent documents will be reflected in which that inventor has worked. Same goes for applicant details. And in case of title, abstract, description, claims, you can go via keyword searching. So when you hit a keyword, when you write a keyword and you press enter, so the documents will be displayed which actually relate to that keyword or which comprise that keyword which you have entered. Otherwise, in case you have a direct publication number, you can enter it, and you'll have access to it. It also helps to export files to XMS, XLS formatted files. So yeah, so I've already mentioned about it, the bibliographic information page. So this is the front page of any patent document. So you will get to have access to inventor's name. You can check applicant details. You can check application number. You have access to check what were the priority dates or when it was published, and the abstract part. So next one is the USPTO. So USPTO actually provides three different interfaces. First one is the public pair, and the pair is an acronym to Patent Application Information Retrieval. So this particular interface helps you gain access to the patent document by selecting either the application number and entering it into the space that has been provided, and then you hit the search button and you will get to see the that particular document which have containing that application number. You can even enter patent number in case you have it. You can enter PCT number in case you have it, the publication number as well. The other two interfaces are based on the keyword searching. So this is PAT-FT. This is Patent Full Text and Image Database. So if you do not have a patent number or an application number or PCT number, so there's nothing to worry about. You can even search via entering the keywords. So as in the screenshot, it is visible. There is a space to enter the term one, and then just adjacent to it, there is a space saying field one. So what does this indicate? So you have to enter your keyword into the term one space. So when you enter, for example, you wish to search for antimicrobial nanomist, I would say. So when you enter the term one as antimicrobial, and in the fields you wish to go for searching all the titles where the antimicrobial word is listed. So what you can do is, as you have entered the antimicrobial word in the term one, you can select the title in the field one, and in case you wish to insert more keywords, what you can do is you can enter another keyword in the term 2. For say, as I've mentioned, antimicrobial nanomist. So in term 1, we have already entered antimicrobial. So in the term 2, we'll enter nanomist. So, and in the field, in case we wish to search the nanomist part in the abstract. So what I'll do is I'll select abstract in the field 2, and then I'll hit the button search. So I'll get to see all the documents that have term and the patent scope interface holds the patent documents of every participating national and regional patent offices. Why I'm saying this? Because every patent office that is part of a PCT will you can have an access to all those documents, patent documents on patent scope. So the searchable fields are name of applicants, as I've already mentioned. You can even search your keyword by pressing full text. So every the patent scope provides the results will display the keyword in the full text of the document. So the last one is the Google patents. And before I discuss it further, I wish to inform you that Google patents are actually the most user-friendly interface in all the freely available tools. It is so there is this bar where you can enter the keywords, and there is even an option to check whether you wish to include non-patent literature. So why Google has particularly included this option? Because while while assessing the novelty of any invention, every literature is of significance, not just the patent documents, but the non-patent literature as well. So by checking this box, you can even have access to the non-patent literature. So as you can see, I've mentioned here that Google Patents includes over 87 million patent publications. So yes, Google Patents gives you worldwide information. It indexes full text documents from various patent offices, including Europe, including Japan, Canada, and even WIPO. So how can you base your search in Google Patent? So there is again a few searchable variables. So you can either enter direct keyword in the Google patent and give it a hit to search ahead, or you can enter the date from uh, like a date or maybe a period, a particular period in which you wish to find the patent document. You can even enter the name of assignee. You can even enter the name of inventor, and search can be further classified based on the patent office and based on the status of the patent document which you wish to look at. For say, if you only wish to look on the application patent applications, so by selecting only the patent application part, you will get to see only the patent applications. And if you select the granted one, so you will be having access to the granted patents. What does non-patent literature comprises? So any journals, academic journals, even thesis, even conference proceedings, even technical reports. So these all actually form part of non-patent literature. And even the commercial products that are available in the market, these are also, kind of pour in to the non-patent literature. So it is always recommended and it is always advisable when you are going for a novelty assessment, you should look for non-patent documents as well. So how can you search through Google Patents? So after I wrap up my presentation, I would also like to give a short demo if time allows. So through Google Patents, you can either enter directly the patent publication or application number, or you can enter a text. For example, the example we have been considering of antimicrobial nanomist. And in case you wish to be very specific in your searching, so you can even select the assignee, you can even select the name of inventor, you can even select that you wish to see the documents before a certain period of time. And of course, by including the non-patent literature and by checking that particular box which is provided just below the searching bar, so the results will be displayed from the Google Scholar and the Google Books also. So whenever we open a patent document in Google Patent, so there is this bibliographic information box which is displayed at the right hand side corner of that document. This actually gives you access to download the document in the PDF form. This helps you have access to who the inventor is, who is the current assignee, where all the in where the app in where all the countries the application has been filed, and what is the priority date, what is the status. As in this screenshot, the status appears to be abandoned, right? So you can have access to, and you can even check like what is the current status of the patent document that you are looking at. It could be active patent, it could be expired patent, it could be still an application, it could be withdrawn, it could be abandoned. So yes, so it gives you access to even check the status of patent document. And the screenshot has not covered the external links part, but I'll be showing it in the demo part. So this external links actually allows you to take to move forward uh, to any of the portals for any of the worldwide portals, for example SpaceNet. So the particular document you can also see in the SpaceNet by clicking on that external link which says SpaceNet. I'll be doing that in the demo part to just have a more clarification. So as I've discussed about the free patent tools, so obviously that obviously anything that comes free, so the disadvantages are actually the part the according to me, using free tools have only one advantage of zero subscription. Yes, so they are free because you can so you can use them without paying anything. Yes, so you are saving on money. But on the other hand, if we look for the disadvantages, so there are many. For example, in the Google Patents itself, there isn't, there are many cases when you won't have access to the full document. So in some cases, the claims are missing. In some cases, images are missing. In some cases, the full description is missing. And also, in various free platforms, it is even not guaranteed that the data which we are looking at or which we are relying upon is completely up to date. So apart from Google, yes, the other interfaces are not so user friendly. You have to struggle a lot. You might have to struggle a lot rather. And of course there are less chances of hitting the closest prior art, the closest hit which actually can define your invention. So we can say it lacks precision as well. So I have jotted down few tips and tricks. I hope it would be of use to all the participants here. So the first tip is brainstorming keywords. Yes, this is very, very, very essential part while you move ahead with your search. Why? Because keywords, you have to keep evolving your keywords. You have to use synonyms for simple word. For instance, I would say, for example, you have an invention that is based upon a pen. So if you are searching with the word pen only as a keyword, so you might not hit the exact literature. Why? Because somebody might have referred pen as a writing instrument, maybe a drawing instrument, or maybe a coloring or a sketching instrument as well. So another example could be for say there is a one invention that is based upon a UV stick. So what happens? Since UV cannot have synonyms, so what we can do is we can take stick and we can take stick as a keyword, and we'll keep on evolving our keywords. We'll keep on brainstorming. Why? Because stick can be mentioned as a rod, it can be mentioned as a bar, it can even be mentioned as a van. So that is how we have to evolve, that is how we have to brainstorm the keywords with the different synonyms, maybe because synon- synonyms uh, to the keyword is the only actually the best thing that that one should know about the invention for which he wishes to search, because not everyone write in a similar manner as we are mentioning our invention. So in case we do not come up with the exact synonyms or with the closer synonyms, we might have a chance, to skip that particular closest prior art. Next one is the forward and backward cross-reference search. Yeah, so this is actually based on the citations part. So the for the backward, I would say for the backward cross-reference searches can be defined as the citations that has been referred by the patent document that you are looking at. And the forward citations are the ones that has referred the patent document that you are looking at. Next is expand your search beyond patent databases. Why? Because as I've already mentioned that while searching novelty, looking for patent documents, which includes applications and granted patents. So this is just not enough. You have to go for non-patent literatures as well. You have to search beyond patent databases. You have to look into, you have to dig out the non-patent literature to get to get access to journals, to get access to articles, maybe some commercial products, or maybe any uh, conference proceedings which are actually displayed as a uh, in a form of a book or in a form of a paper. So yeah, so you have to expand your search. So there are a few points to remember. Yes, so while going for a patent search, there is no specific set of rules, I would say. There is not at all. You have to be, specific with your invention only. Like you have to evolve with the keywords, as I've mentioned. You have to brainstorm. But there is no specific set of rules exists. And patent searching is a process that cannot be completed in just a single step. Yes, so in that case, I would say this is very exhaustive. This would be exhaustive. Since it is a very dynamic, it's a very comprehensive thing. Yeah, so to make your task easier, to make any innovator's task easier, we at ITTO are absolutely love doing this. And even ITTO has access to various paid databases as well. And despite of paying heavy subscriptions, ITTO offers assessments at very nominal prices, I would say. So here I've reached the end of my presentations. Thank you so much. You can also reach us. So before I wrap up, I wish to give a demo. If yeah, so let's try some other keyword than the antimicrobial nanomist. So what if I go with I wish to search antimicrobial gloves, for example. So when I've entered my keyword and when I hit this button search, I hope the page has changed.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we can see there are few citations that has been displayed by the Google patent based on the keyword that I have inserted. So, and there are actually available literature on antimicrobial medical gloves, antimicrobial glove. So, what if I wish to, you know, to specify to narrow down my research? For say, I wish to have antimicrobial gloves which have nano silver particles. So I can write in the left hand side there is a box. So I can write there nano silver particles. So when I hit the button, so I'll be able to see my searches that contains antimicrobial gloves and nano silver particles. For say, if we check the third link that says method for produce of rubber gloves contain nano silver. So this is also showing me results that contains nano silver and that contains antimicrobial. You can even select from the date part. So in if you wish to search for literature for say from 2000, from year 2000 to 2019, suppose last year. So when I hit, so this has shown me all the literature that actually belong to this window only. See, when I hit the search button, so these are the literatures that have been found by the Google patents during this particular window period. So you can also type in the inventor's name. uh, for say I write Arthur, so I hit the button Arthur, so there will be literature that will show the inventor as Arthur. So there can be a lot more variants. And yes, you can also type in assignee's name in case you have it. And you can further refine your research by selecting the patent office here from the drop down. And also, as I have mentioned, that the type of application, maybe patent and design, and even you can refine it on the basis of the status of the application, if it is granted or if it is only still it is as an application. So this is all. And yeah, so when I click this patent literature, so mm, yeah, so as I've also mentioned about the bibliographic box here, so you can see this is the box which I was talking about. So this helps you to download the PDF. This has given you the information about the inventor, the current assignee, the worldwide applications, and there's so many more informative things in this bibliographic box. And also, as I've talked about the external links, so yes, so while when you hit on SpaceNet, when you hit on USP, so you'll be directed to the to these particular sites, and you can also check your document over there, and you can have access to whatever content you are looking at, the title, abstract, the full complete specification, and anything you wish to. So here I'm just closing it. So this was the short demo. Thank you so much, Dr. Trika, for allowing me to do that.
It was indeed a very informative session. You've explained all the tools, InPass, SpaceNet, USPTO, Patent Scope, Google Patents so nicely that it will now be really easy for us to conduct patent document search.
Definitely. And in case you people have any queries, you please contact ITTO. We'll be happy to assist you.
Definitely we'll contact you.